Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our talk show today. I'm your host, Syed Neaz Ahmed. In our studios today, we have a gentleman who has devoted his life, entire life, working life, to politics and social welfare. He is none other than Mr. Sultan Muhammad Shariff, the President of the UK Awami League. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sultan Muhammad Shariff. And I'm thankful to you for taking the time and coming to our studios today.
Thank you for asking me to be with you.
It's a privilege and an honor. Let's take a step backwards and try to understand what motivated you into taking up the vocation or the passion of politics.
It is, I think, the environment in which I was brought up, where my father was a social worker, a community person, always trying to do as much as...
Back in Dhaka or Borishal?
In my village home. So from childhood we were brought up learning how to support everybody all around us, how to help people who are in need, how to support those who are elderly, how to look after little children, orphans. Like in our village home, we would have literally dozens of people sort of working, but actually is that they had 2 meals. I mean, it is a time.
They're working on the farm.
It is in the 40s. And when I was born, and as I grew up as a child, I saw all around me lots of poverty.
Yeah, this was in 1934. We had a terrible famine.
Yeah, it is before that, subsequent to after that famine.
Yeah.
There was famine.
And then there was war.
Flood. There was war, Second World War, and after that, my father, my father was one of those people who was living in the village, and there was no food in the village because after the big famine. And he was made chairman of food committee of that area, that union. So our house was like a stopgap arrangement for food coming, various other and things, clothes coming, mosquito nets coming, coming. And all relief used to come to our house, and my father had 2-3 people supporting, helping. This was all local government arrangement.
Yes. Did you as a child also join in and...
No, that is the environment in which I was brought up. I was, because I was a child, too small to help anybody except my grandmother, who used to, I remember, cut Jew betel leaf and nuts, so that people who are coming to the house, they also get from the house
pan and supari.
Pan and supari. That I remember because I was to sit on her lap and help her in that, except for my school. So I think it automatically became ingrained in me that I am one of those people who are supposed to assist wherever assistance is needed for anybody else, older, younger, or same age group.
Or near or dear ones,
and share meal with those who doesn't have milk, or share food with those who had short of food.
Yes.
That is the village environment,
right,
where I remember that in a very difficult times when there was not enough rice. So when they cooked rice and the water that came out of it, along with that some rice was given, and at least people had something to eat.
That's very nutritive. So that is the essence of rice.
Today it is today's nutritive. Those days that was the least most you could do at some stage. You didn't have plenty. So I used to see my mother and grandmother would collect all the village children and feed them first. The older people could even sometimes would have gone starving, etc., or part eating, but the children would have been looked after so that
with that background
child mortality
and that moral lessons that
coming
you
out
gained.
from that background, I didn't think of anything else. I would see at my home everything that is dedicated to supporting everybody around and coming to the assistance of everybody. In the present days, people say servant. I hear the helpers are being deprived of their share, etc., etc. In those days, I didn't know of any difference between who was working for us or who was not working for us. We were looked after by the people who were helping farming, people who are helping household things, people who are helping cooking. They are also looking after us.
Well, when did you move to a city for education?
It was in 1950 when I was put to a government school in the town to be to study. So naturally, I had to.
You had to be away from your family.
Yeah, during the weekdays. But my village home was about 3.5 miles away.
Okay.
It took about 1.5 hours to go through the muddy roads to the village home. But knew that when I went home, their mommy and my sisters, everybody was looking after me.
Extending it further, after this school, you went to college, isn't it?
That was, yes, school and college. But in the school, also, that I was talking about 1950. And when I came to the town school, something came to the fore that your language was secondary, that means Bengali language. In the schools, even until up to 49, there were a lot of non-Muslim teachers. If you go to the time 1950s history, you will see there are a lot of riots in Barishal, the town where I was. And I saw my father going round with all others to try to help so that the houses are not burned, people are not attacked, and they would roam around and guard this.
Right.
Later on in life, I read from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib's life that how he as a student in Dhaka, in Calcutta at that time, was so very much involved in trying to help everybody, irrespective of whether it is a Hindu house or a Muslim house. If he heard that families are attacked, their job as students of Islamic University was to go and support. But in our village, in our town, it was a natural thing, like he did as a natural thing.
Okay.
That is how why I'm saying that, that is how it suddenly occurred to me that there was a difference between me and a Hindu family, me and a Christian family, me and a Punjabi family, and me and the rulers of the country. Why I say that is that up to officers in charge, OC, we had people who were Bengalis,
Right.
speaking Bengali. Above that, invariably it was a non-Bengali. That is only 3 years after Pakistan was created, which I remember vaguely the day Pakistan independence of independence
division
came,
of India.
14th and 15th August.
Yeah.
I just very vaguely remember that day, but subsequent to that, I have seen those days. So gradually, something came to me, like my mother and father would always say, that injustice is wrong. For justice, a living person has to fight.
Right.
For truth, people fight. No difference. My father would say, he was a devout Muslim, but always say that there is no difference between men, women, or children. Everybody is God's creation, and in life, we all should try to do as much as we can.
We are part of the same humanity.
Yes.
Well,
And
Sultan, we will have to fast forward it because
I'm still trying to explain why at that age.
Yeah.
And it was remember after 1948. In 48, there were stories coming out that Dr. Muhammad Shahidullah was telling us that Bengali has to be the state language of East Pakistan. At that time it was East Bengal, of East Bengal. And they were saying, no, I am not going to that history, but all I am saying is that from the central, everybody was saying, including the Governor General of Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, saying that Urdu shall be the state language of Pakistan. And that immediately occurred to us, the only language we know is Bengali. And our fathers, during their time, the British introduced English as the media, and Bengali was called vernacular, because it was not the mother tongue, it was called vernacular. English was the language which was the media of teaching history, teaching geography, teaching maths, social sciences, all subjects except Bengali. And from there we came to Pakistan, and there we were told that English alternative is not Bengali. English alternative is Urdu. And members of our family who were working in offices, from them we realized that Bengali is not the media. The courts, the offices, everybody has a different language. At that time, Urdu hasn't come, but English. And we wanted that people can understand what the state is asking them to do in their own mother tongue, which is Bengali at that time. So
in
at
the early
home,
60s, when I was at the college, the medium of instruction was English.
Yeah. So that is why I am telling you that. So in our childhood, one thing came to us is that injustice in any area of life is wrong.
Okay, that's
and
understood.
That is the lesson
Sultan,
we learned
that's
from
understood.
home.
We'll have to fast forward this because otherwise we will not be able to come to 2015. We will still be in the British time.
There is no harm.
You joined the student wing of Awami League, the Chhatro League that was called at a very early age. You said you were 9
at that
years
time
old.
there was only one student organization. The Muslim League was the organization that created Pakistan.
Right.
because Hossain Said Sarwardi got an election through. It was Hossain Said Sarwardi and his friends who worked very hard in Bengal to give the Muslims an entity.
And Maulana Bhashani.
Maulana Bhashani was not there at that time. Maulana Bhashani was the president of Assam Muslim League.
Yep, he worked hard.
Yeah, Hossain Said Sarwardi was, I mean, history as I know,
Yeah.
forgive me for taking it that way, history as I know, it is A.K. Fazlul Haq, it is Hossain Said Sarwardi, it is Maulana Bhashani was president of Assam Muslim League, and that is a different chapter. Maulana Bhashani later on came and joined them. That was after Pakistan was created. But before that, it is the Calcutta leadership, secular leadership I call them, or leadership who wanted, whatever people are in in the Muslim country, which was Pakistan, East Bengal and West Pakistan, they should be treated equally and their democratic right should be there.
Right.
Like in 1948, I think I will be right to say, in 48 or early 59, India had a general election. Both India and Pakistan had an election in 1946 about the partition of India. Pakistan didn't have an election or elected government, and the only time they had a national election was in 1970, which resulted into the demolition of Pakistan. So I'm going back to that time, and as a child, as I was growing, I found that my people, I mean people who are around me, neither have any position.
Well, we'll have to take a break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll have to jump forward
to
the present time.
Yeah, we'll go from time to time.
Thank you for being with us. Don't go away. We'll have to take this commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue with this very interesting discussion.
Thank you.